It's not enough just to talk about nice things. If one is concerned about the poor, if one is concerned about the plight of women or of working people, then somebody's going to have to stand up and talk about specific ideas as to how we can improve those conditions. And when you talk about that, you're really talking about one word. It's called politics. Ultimately, what the system tells you is that it's every person for themselves, and that what you have to do is scrape and push and shove your way up the ladder so that someday you too can have a lot of money and buy a nice fancy car and become the top of the system there. And that's really the value system that the establishment perpetuates.
Progressive presidential candidate Bernie Sanders first began his political career in 1987 as the mayor of Burlington, Vermont. Recently, Politico magazine uncovered tapes from his old public access show called Bernie Speaks with the Community. This was a public access show that he actually did while he was the mayor of Burlington. I'm someone who responds to old political videos like a feline would to catnip, because I think it's super valuable to get a better understanding of the individuals who are vying to be the next president of the United States. And look, we'll get to the important things Bernie had to say back in the day while he was an unknown mayor, but first, let's have some fun. Let's keep it real. In a video dated July 3rd, 1987, Bernie speaks to a group of young kids about various issues, including Vermont's history. These kids were observant, as you're about to see in the following clip.
Did you know you look like somebody on Back to the Future?
I look like
Dad, he looks like that guy on Back to the Future. Not Michael J. Fox, the other guy.
Oh my. That little kid just told Bernie that he looks like the guy from Back to the Future, not Michael J. Fox. First of all, props to that little kid for knowing the name of the actor, Michael J. Fox. And the other guy from Back to the Future that the cute kid was referring to was actually Emmett Brown. So that's the character who invented the first time machine in the movie, right? The role was played by actor Christopher Lloyd, and you know what? The kid had a point. In the same video, Bernie talks to the kids about drugs. Now, remember, I gotta give you some context. This was during the Reagan administration when the war on drugs was on steroids. And yes, pun intended. Let's take a look.
Do any of the older kids, do you know, have some problems with drugs occasionally?
No. Yeah.
No? Who wants to talk to me about that one? What about drugs? Is that a problem?
I like Coke.
Okay, do you want to talk about that one? Hold on, who said they like Coke?
Me.
You tell me about that.
I like Coca-Cola.
Oh, Coca-Cola. All right, but who knows about cocaine? Anyone ever seen cocaine?
Yes. Yes. I use it in my cereal.
Hold it, one at a time. What about cocaine? Good thing, bad thing, what?
Bad
thing.
Why is it bad?
Because it has a bad effect on the body.
That's right.
No, I love, what about cocaine? Who said they like Coke? I love it, okay? As I watch these videos, I can't help but notice how Bernie speaks to kids and adults with his signature authenticity. He's not polished, and that's what many left-wing voters actually love about him. He's not condescending toward the kids, and he seems to genuinely want to provide a platform for young people in the community so they can speak their mind and also air their grievances. In fact, in one episode, he visits a mall and speaks to two punk rock teenagers. The girl has a partially shaved punk rock haircut and black lipstick. That's important for the podcast listeners to know as you listen to this next clip.
Well, let me start off by saying it's an interesting hairdo.
Thank you.
Lipstick is also very interesting. How do you feel society can be changed?
Well, if we could go into the archives and see what the government's really been doing for the past, I don't know how long, many years, then we'd all be pretty appalled and sickened by it. Because we think we're so free, we think we're so democratic, everybody has a say. We're just as imperialistic as the Soviets are.
Okay, I'm dying to know who that woman is. At that point, she was a teenager. But if you're watching, if you're somehow out there, get in touch with me because I want to know what your current thoughts are. Now, aside from giving the residents of Burlington, Vermont, a platform in which they could share their thoughts, Bernie utilized the show to share his own priorities. Politico magazine writes that, quote, Sanders used the show to make the case for an array of left-leaning proposals, from a progressive income tax to a national healthcare system. He proposed a new kind of loan that would allow elderly people to put off paying property taxes until they sold their home, and also promoted his administration's decision to put a local hospital on the property tax rolls, and demanded that condominium developers build more affordable housing. This goes back to the important stuff that I was actually referencing earlier. What makes Bernie stand out from the 20+ candidates vying to win the Democratic ticket is an insane level of consistency and persistence. He's been fighting for the exact same policies his entire political career. There has never been any notable wavering on the issues. The following video is from March 29th, 1987, when Sanders was sworn in as mayor. Just to give you even more context, that was when I was 7 months old.
We deal with a housing crisis, for example, not in theoretical mega billion-dollar terms, but in phone calls from constituents who have no place to live or are taking money out of their food budget to pay outrageously high rents. We deal with the crisis of affordable health care, not through fundraising dinners sponsored by the American Medical Association, not through cocktail parties with the hospital establishment or the heads of the drug companies, but from meetings with senior citizens and low-income people who cannot afford prescription drugs or their health insurance premiums and who are scared to death about becoming sick. Because in America, many people cannot afford to be sick.
There was one line in Politico that really stood out to me. Holly Otterbin writes that Bernie Speaks with the Community is now 1,667 minutes of material for opposition researchers, healthcare insurance companies, and Trump's re-election campaign to pick through. Look, perhaps she's right. Perhaps opposition researchers will take some of this footage and try to use it to their advantage. But much like the attempts to smear Bernie in 2016, I think the attacks will be a fruitless effort. It's rare to find politicians that have this type of authenticity and this type of consistency. And all of these old videos reveal that Bernie is someone who fits that description. And if we're about to be critical about presidential candidates based on the videos that are floating around from their past, maybe we should consider this one featuring Joe Biden.
The younger generation now tells me how tough things are. Give me a break. No, I have no empathy for it. Give me a break.
Yeah. I'd love to give you a break, and I'll give you a break by not voting for you. While progressive candidates are looking to make college free or affordable, Biden would like young people to stop their whining and just deal with the whopping $1.5 trillion in student loan debt. Who cares if millennials are earning less than generations before them? Biden and his establishment buddies are doing well, and I guess that's all that matters to him. Did you know that TYT Network is now available on YouTube's new streaming platform, YouTube TV? Get access to full TYT episodes and exclusive shows by signing up for YouTube TV today. All new subscribers get a 7-day free trial, so head over to youtube.tv and search for the TYT Network channel.